We have been traveling this summer because we get the opportunity to work virtually, which is super amazing and awesome. And we left home May 25th, 26th. I always say 25th, and my wife reminds me that I'm wrong. And it's just been great. We've been traveling and seeing things and working, and it's been a wonderful opportunity for us. And we're super excited to talk to you today about the things that we do at Pasco eSchool to help us get connected with our students. We're going to hit some tools. We're going to talk about some of the things from the teacher's perspective, and I'll talk from the admin perspective. I'm a Canvas admin. I'm like a jack of all trades and master of none, so I'm still working on mastering some things. But we'll go through this. We want it to be more of a discussion thing, so if you guys want to share ideas, we want to share ideas in the room with what you're doing at your schools. So quick show of hands, how many people work at a 100% virtual school in the room? So my boss obviously does, and a couple of others. How many people just have virtual classes in courses? So pretty much the rest of the folks. Okay, great. If you would like to contact us, shoot us an email. We're going to talk about Adobe Connect and some other things. So if you'd like an inside track of how we set that up, I'd be more than happy to converse with you later on that. So if you want to grab our info there. So here's some of the things we're going to talk about. We want to discuss the benefits of getting connected as an online school, as a community, with our students, our teachers, and our parents. We have three areas to focus on. We want to talk about how our school can help students get connected with their learning institution. Since we're virtual, we don't see our students face to face, so there's a little bit of a challenge there. We want to talk about some of the best practices in getting connected with our parents as the third piece. We're going to talk about successful strategies for fostering connections with teachers. And lastly, we're going to talk about the things that we're kind of looking at and trying to improve and where we're headed next. So what are some of the benefits to getting connected? Since we don't see our students, we don't have them face to face, what are some of the aspects that we're trying to do? We want to build their trust. We want them to know us as a person, and if they know that we're there for them, then we are also going to get that support as a follow-up to that. And then we also want to increase communication, because if we're just an online course that's graded and they never ever see their teacher, they may not be as comfortable to reach out and ask for help. We want them to belong to our school. So we have students that take are at our school full-time. They do all of their education there. But we have a lot of students, a tremendous amount of students that take 1, 2, or 3 classes with us. So they also belong to another school. So we want to try to give them a feeling of they also belong to our school. Like I said, we don't want to be a grading robot, so we try to humanize the experience for them. We want to build those relationships, and out of all of those things, we think that helps us increase student performance. So I'm going to let Susan talk about some of the ways that, from the teacher perspective, that we get connected.
I taught in the bricks and mortar school for probably 22 years, and I've been now at eSchool for 2 years, and I feel like I have a much better connection with the kids at eSchool. I feel like I know them and their parents much better. And here are some of the ways that we do it. We have weekly emails that go out. We have newsletters. Giving kids kudos and texts, they love that. I can't tell you how much response I get back from them. I've even started keeping a folder for myself just because they're so excited that you've congratulated and connected with them one-on-one. We have social events for teachers and for students. We have a lot of field trips. We have field trips. Most time they're subject-based, not always, but like our PE, we went to a tree toppers where they had like rope walking.
Zip lining.
Yep. And marine biologist teacher, she takes them to the
aquarium.
Thank you. And then we have, of course, social media. We have friendly contests. When the semester's winding down, we have like a snowboard shuffle or a turkey trot, and it's kids that are on pace get put into a certain pool, and then we pull names and give them certain prizes. We have school lab visits. Because we have a lot of kids that are taking 1, 2, or 3 courses outside of their regular bricks and mortar class, we have labs in the school, which is an adult's in there and watches over them, but they pretty much do their own thing. But their lab managers are very valuable to us because they really keep a tab on those kids. And then we have teachers that are also connected with each of the schools, and they go out and check on those with the lab managers and the students. And then It's great for us because if I'm not connected to that high school, I can contact that teacher, and then when they go out, they contact that kid and find out what's going on if I can't get a hold of them or something. Personalized messages, of course, to them. Face-to-face live lessons. Our elementary and our middle school both have days that the kids can come in and spend the whole day with us, so they get a little bit of socialization there too, and they can get some one-on-one help if they need it. And then we're going to talk a little bit more about our live lessons in Adobe Connect in a little bit. And of course, we send out announcements, and then we have different appointments. That's what I thought about.
Yeah. So, live lessons, we're going to keep the 3 red ones on the last screen there, are going to be kind of the tools we're talking about, live lessons, announcements, and appointments. So in our live lessons, there's several different purposes we use for Adobe Connect in our live lesson rooms. Most of our students are required to have a collaboration credit in their course so that they've worked with other students, and coming to a 1-hour lesson online fulfills that credit. Some of our teachers use Adobe Connect for tutoring sessions, academic assistance. The ASL team this year just started a few months back, American Sign Language, having office hours and a walk-in scenario where they're always there, and any student that wants to come into that room and get some help can. We do welcome calls. You want to talk about welcome calls just a little bit?
I think when I went back and I said that I feel more connected to my kids is before they start the class, they have to do a welcome call with us, and maybe some of your schools do it. I know when I got my master's back in late 2000s, I never spoke to any of my online instructors ever. But we do a welcome call with the parent and the student before they start so they know what to expect. And then we do monthly contacts with the parents at least, hopefully the kids too, but usually I end up talking to my kids more than once a month. But the parents then get to stay in touch with it too. And then we do DBAs, discussion-based assessments, and all of our classes have those, and the kids have to talk to us on the phone about what they've learned. Or we can go into Adobe Connect and do it, or we can do Skype or whatever works best in that situation. But that's where a lot of times I feel like I get to know them better. In fact, during the conference, I had a mother contact me and was panicked. She knew that I was at the conference all week, and she wanted to get her child's last DBA done so we could finish the class before the school year started. And I said, well, okay, can we do it right now? And she said, well, we're at the doctor's office right now. And then so we made an appointment for later, and she said she needed to get it done because he was at band camp for 2 days straight. And then after that, he was going to Aruba with a great trip with his family. So it's funny then when I got him on the phone, I could say, how did the doctor's visit go? And then have fun in Aruba. So I feel like there's so much more connection there. Plus the parents have a lot more buy-in to help you when they see that you're there and you're supportive and you're ready to help the kids and things like that. So I love that part, and that's where I said, I feel like I have a better connection with these kids than I did in bricks and mortar. Sorry, I'm nervous.
So I'll talk a little bit about how we set up Adobe Connect to work in Canvas and how we integrated it. We use the eSync LTI tool to bring Adobe Connect in so that our students seamlessly can get right into their course. They don't have to go log in again. They don't have to put in another name and password. It's just, if they're in the Canvas course and they're enrolled in it, they see the join button and away they go. We've had a great relationship with eSync, so I don't want to be an advertisement, but they deserve it. They've been super awesome as a partner. They have helped us. We have a tendency to break things at Pasco eSchool. We've been using Canvas since 2012, and we have a lot of users. And we say we're going to use Adobe Connect with a couple of hundred or maybe 1,000 students. They kind of freak out, and then when we got to 4,000, we broke it. It didn't work anymore, and then we had to talk about the architecture of how the syncing works and what we're doing, and they went and engineered a solution for us that made it work for our courses. So that was super exciting. They also have another product that's EDU Game Cloud that has some really neat features that adds into Adobe Connect. They have a trivia contest. Who wants to be a trivia champion that might or might not be very similar to a game show that was on TV about millionaires. Crossword puzzles and quizzes. They also do grade pass back to Canvas from those scenarios. So there's some really neat features there. You could really get in there, have a course, instruct students, and assess them right within Adobe Connect, which is really nice. So the other thing we did was in our off to the edge there with all the red text, those are our sub-accounts. So Pasco eSchool is a sub-account in Pasco County. And we built a sub-account just for the live lessons so that we didn't have to keep changing the rooms and get them confused. The nicest thing about that was it let us put the LTI tool right in there. So as soon as I build a course and put it in that sub-account, then everything's already there. The Adobe Connect link's there, everything's there. All I have to do is just go in and actually add the meeting, which I'll show you on the next, I think one of the next 2 slides, which that's worked out super, super well for us. We've got about 100, I think we had 92 when I did the screenshot, but I think we're about 100 courses in there now. This is what we provided for the students, is we have them self-enroll in the course so that because we have students that are in and out, we're 365 days a year, we don't start and stop, that our students can come in at any time, go look at the list, find a live lesson that they want to join, and get right in. So we had to figure out a way for the students to enroll themselves, and as you know, students sometimes don't read the directions, but we had a link for them, how to get the info, how to get the link straight in. We even had a link on there for them to test their computer at home. A lot of folks are on older Windows machines, running older browsers that aren't compatible, so that gave them that ability to check it themselves. So when they say, I can't see it or I can't get the join button, we always just refer back to that document, ask them to go check it out, and it's right there for them. We posted that on our website. We post that in the directions for the calendar links for the live lessons, so that's like about 4 or 5 different places they can keep seeing it. So in Adobe, or in Canvas, this is what it looks like. Adobe Connect just comes into your navigation menu for your course. Once they click on that, then that's it. It's just right there. It's very simple. I set up the meeting link where it says add meeting. You could have office hours and you could have a regular meeting room. Most of our courses just use one meeting room to help with confusion, because some students will jump in the office hours meeting and go, how come something's not going on? What's happening? So that's right there. They click join and they're in the meeting. It just launches Adobe Connect and away they go and they're in the meeting. We had some things in Adobe Connect that we set up, like we don't allow guests to come in. We want to know who everyone is. We don't send out the direct link to the Adobe Connect room on the backside. We also don't open the room until a teacher's in the room. So we keep the room completely closed down, because if it's sitting in your course, the students could go click the join button and they could all be in there having a nice little discussion without any really adult supervision in there, which is sometimes not a good idea. So let me show you a little example of just one of our ASL teachers. I liked this one because it's a little bit of personality. It's like we like to tie things into real world. We want the live lessons to be fun. So let me play this for you.
With other ASL course users, we will definitely be using the course today to learn some signs about how we can communicate with others using the ASL course. So I'd like to see more growth, young Padawans, as we continue through this lesson. So we're going to be revisiting this poll.
So Elizabeth was doing Star Wars reference to American Sign Language signs and was using those two things to bridge together. And that session is open to all students, not just students taking American Sign Language. So a lot of times we have students who see something that looks interesting and they might not be taking the course, they jump in it, and then maybe that spurs a little growth or something that they weren't aware of that they were interested in that area. So how do we get this information out to our students so that they know there are live lessons available and where to sign up? We use WordPress for our website in Pasco County. That's what we're required to use. And I've found a little plugin to WordPress called time.ly that allows me to get a feed from other calendars, like a Google feed or Microsoft Office. That'll pull both those feeds in, and then we just post the live lessons on that calendar. So one of the other coaches will post the lesson. We'll give them all the information about the lesson. We can give them an agenda view, or we can give them a posterized view. They click on that and just opens another website with all the information. That information on how to get into the session, how to enroll in the course, all of that's right there. That's worked out really well for us. We've also then been able to take that and iframe it into other places across our courses, because we also have an FLVS franchise side, so we have to have things that also work in Educator. We have kind of two houses for everything. So you can imagine with 90 teachers, all the different courses, and then 2 different platforms, we decided to try to figure out a way to provide that information in one place, and then it's iframed in everywhere else, so we just make the change once, and then it goes out to all the courses for everywhere else. Let me show you what that looks like in Canvas. This is a Canvas course, anthropology, that we have, and then this section that's just in the black here where it says Pasco eSchool announcements is another thing that we iframed in. We iframe in those live lessons for Adobe Connect and then below that as well. And of course, with the iframes, you can resize them to fit whatever folks need. So the announcements is the other piece that we wanted to talk about a little bit. We found the students were disconnected with what was going on in our school. We were sending out emails if we were doing a fundraiser or if we were doing a, it was just they were constantly getting stuff. Our teachers were getting confused on what to send out and where to post it and what to do with it. So the solution was, again, to go back to WordPress, create a page that we just have posts across the page. So one person enters that information, it goes out to everybody again. And then in each one of our Pasco eSchool courses, they'll see that iframe at the top of the page. Then the students kind of scroll down the page, can see all the information we posted about events that are coming up, field trips that are coming up, all kinds of different things like that. My teachers were super happy about that. Some of them have 12 courses, so they'd get a flyer or something to come out from admin, hey, you guys need to post this. They'd go post it in their 12 courses, and then, of course, there'd be a typo. And then they'd have to go back and change that again in their 12 courses, and it was kind of making them crazy. So this kind of came from their stress level of how can we help them out and make their lives a little easier. The next thing that we use to help our students get connected is a software program called Calendly, and I'm going to let Susan talk about that just a little bit. We've always had an appointment scheduler system at eSchool, and this is the latest one that we've started using. And I'm going to let her kind of talk more about it.
I love Calendly because it's clean and simple, and they don't seem to get confused. Sometimes with our other system we had, it was a little more bulky and, like I said, a little more confusing. And most of us have these four types of appointments. The welcome call that I talked about earlier, monthly calls with the parents, DBAs, the discussion-based assessments where we talk about what they've learned, and then academic assistance. And what I really love about Calendly is you can't read it, but underneath each one, it gives them a little bit of insight of something they might need to do before the appointment. Like for the DBAs on my homepage, I have a little bit of information about what we're going to talk about, so they'll be prepared. And then they're not so scared about those DBAs. And monthly calls, it says that they need to have a parent present with them for those calls. So that part is what I really like about that. And you can also adjust it to what length you want. Some of us only need 10 minutes for a welcome call or a DBA. Some people need a half an hour. So you can adjust it exactly to fit your needs and your student needs.
So the nice thing about that is, if you think about, we went and looked, and last August we made 7,000 appointments with students. If you think about 7,000 appointments with students, if we didn't have a scheduling system, how many emails back and forth of, I'm available here, I'm available there, I can't do it here, it's got to be canceled. Like, this becomes all automated then. So, and
they can call us any time for appointments, but they know that this time is reserved for them and only them, and they won't be interrupted.
Right. Got a question?
So are students able to go in here? So like, let's say I can have Thursday from noon to 2 that are open for student appointments. Can students go in and say, I want this, and then
yes.
So the question is, do the students have access to making the appointment themselves, basically, is what you're asking, correct? Yeah, so that's exactly what it is. The students, each teacher has an individual link. The student clicks on that link. It might be on the home page or wherever the contact information is for the teacher. The student clicks on that. They see a calendar, and they pick the day that's good for them, and then they'll get a series of times that are available from the teacher. And the nice thing is the teacher may have 5 or 6 different appointment types, but the student will pick the appointment type they need, fill out the information to that appointment type, and then that appointment gets made. It goes directly to the teacher's calendar. So like we use Office 365. That appointment then gets blocked out on Office 365, so the next student can't make that appointment. An email notification goes out to the student and goes out to the teacher that appointment's been made. So it's really pretty automated.
I don't know if you plan to mention it, but one of the nice things about this switch is, let's say a kid is booking a DBA or a monthly call, you can have a bounce back when they book it with information, a link or text that tells them links to
I could repeat all of that, but basically it sends out a link back to the student and lets them know the stuff that they need to have ready for that appointment. So if their parents need to be present, they have to have that there. If they needed to prepare some other way, they can get that information directly. Again, nice automated process, which is super helpful. Any more questions about, because this is kind of the end of our tool part of this session, but I'll be happy to answer any more questions. Great question. So the question was, do students have to leave Canvas to make that reservation, to make that appointment? And yes, they do. It's a link that pops out to another website. And it's, like Susan said, it's a very clean page. It's just nice. There's not a lot of words. There's not a lot of other information on there. It's just, here's the appointment, here's the date, fill out your stuff, submit. It's pretty straightforward. Thank you. Any other questions? Yes? Excellent question. Do students have to create an account in Calendly to use the program? The answer is no, they do not. There are some that are out there that kind of require them to make an account, and I looked at a lot of them over the last couple of months, like 30 different pieces of software for this scenario. That was one of the things we wanted. We didn't want students to create an account, have that student information held out there, so thank you. Okay. So best practices for getting connected with our parents. That's the next piece is, you want to talk about this one, Susan?
Again, it goes, a lot of it's that welcome call that we have with the parents and the student, and then the monthly contacts that we have with the parents. And also just sending them positive recognition. I know every time a kid finishes my class, I send them a text with a tag that says congratulations, and again, they love that. They think that's really fun. Emails back and forth with the parents, community events that we have with the whole family can come and participate in different things. Maybe we could, if you got any examples of that, I can't think of any off the top of my head. Do we have an ice cream and a movie?
We did ice cream movie night, we did a Star Wars night where we watched a movie and did trivia. So whatever's kind of going on and the kids are up for, we're trying to get nerve boards off the ground. So working on the logistics of that.
And opportunities for the face-to-face communication, like we said, our elementary and our middle school, we do have days that those kids can come in. And we also, I think our middle school this year, we used to have one at where we're housed at the school that we're housed at, but we're such a big county that this year I think we're going to try to have like a coffee shop or Panera or wherever. Like maybe I'll go meet some kids on that side of the county so that they can come and get help from me or one-on-one or whatever they need. So I'm kind of excited about that one. And we can also do some of the collaboration things with them when they're there, and they can work with each other. And then the LMS orientation, we have a Canvas class that they go through. I'll let you talk about so that the kids know how to navigate through Canvas.
Right, so we had an orientation course that we set up in Canvas so that they get to know Canvas before they go through it. And then, of course, our teachers with Observer accounts can see some of that, or parents with Observer accounts would see some of that information too. Found that super helpful. We had a lot of kids get into Canvas and just get lost. They hadn't taken an online course before, so just navigating that. Where do I turn in assignments? Where's my, the students want to go, where is the thing I'm supposed to do and turn in? Like, that's what they want to know. So, so orientation guides them through going to modules and getting their course, and we talk about, keeping things with requirements. They've got to go out, look at the content first, and then answer the questions later. So that's been helpful as well. Yes, sir. I don't think we've put it on Commons. We definitely could. If you want to shoot me an email, we'll put it up there for sure. Yeah.
It's actually an assignment, the very first assignment that any kid has to do when they are in a Canvas course. They have to complete that orientation.
Last year we set it up as we did a badging system. So they went and they did the course. They passed the quiz. They got a badge, and then they had to submit their badge to the course. They just took a screenshot of the badge and sent that in there. What we're going to do this year is build what we have done, and we just haven't implemented it yet. We built a just giant quiz with all the orientation stuff in it. So it was, and then I saw quizzes next, and I'm like, oh, we got to start over. So like it's so cool. But we got the quiz, and they'll see the content, and they'll answer a couple questions, just check for knowledge along the through, and then they got to pass the quiz, and once they pass the quiz, then they'll just be right in the course. So we're trying to tie blueprints and things into that so we can push that quiz out to everywhere, because just after being at the conference and seeing what's next, I can tell before January I'm going to have to change stuff in the orientation, and that would have to change in 90 places. So I'm super happy about blueprints as well. Another plug for that. But yes, we'll definitely put that on. We'll put that orientation up in comments for sure. So the other piece is being a virtual school, we don't see each other. We have a couple of meetings a month that Joanne has us come in, and we all get together and we sit in a room a little bit bigger than this, and we just don't, even in those meetings, you really don't get to chat with anybody because you chat with whoever's close to you. So we've kind of looked at how can we as a staff kind of come together and meld a little bit. So we built PLC communities. So for our PLCs, we made Yammer groups. So we might have 6, 7, 8 teachers in a PLC, and then they've got a Yammer group that they can communicate back and forth with. Through the live lessons as well, even with our teachers, we'll do some PD and some training with them. Last year, our administration came up with this great idea of having houses. So we split we have 3 administrators, and we split our staff into thirds.
Harry Potter
And
houses.
they did a little Harry Potter kind of theme. And throughout the year, you had to earn house points. So there'd be an activity, and it might be just as simple as like, we just need everybody to turn this document in that's required from the county. And then we'd give out house points for the people that did it the fastest or the quickest. But then there were other things, just if you participated in stuff and if you came together, you earned those house points. So that's kind of goes with the friendly contest.
Motivator.
Yeah, so face-to-face meetups, then we'd have those meetings, but what we did is we also, like Susan was talking about with the parents and the students, we would have throughout the county, different regions of the county, maybe kind of pick it in 4 corners. We'd have a meetup at Panera, we'd have a meetup at, different restaurants, different locations, wherever else we could find, just to sit as a group and talk, because we don't have the walk down the hall, planning period, lunchtime scenario to collaborate with our peers. And that's worked out really, really well. We have a Skype group that has Skype open all the time. And, I'll pop in and see what's going on. And a lot of times they're just talking about what's going on with their day, just like the rest of us would at the water cooler kind of a scenario. But then there'll be somebody that pops in and goes, oh my gosh, something happened and I need somebody to help me really quick. Does anybody know the answer to this? And there's always somebody there because they've got that set up on their phone where it's popping up on a message. So they can get instant help there as well. Talked about Yammer. We do also do a teacher orientation. So brand new teachers, as we hire them and bring them on board, we have an induction process and a course we built for them to go through. Last year, we started an Ask Anything on Thursdays. We did like every Thursday at 10 a.m. And we would have different folks available. So we'd have an Ask Admin Anything. So it was that opportunity for an hour to go in and just ask our administrator any questions that they had about eSchool, what's going on. The next one would be the E-team, which is what we call our team. We'd have 4 or 5 people there available to answer questions about Canvas or Educator, whatever their needs were. So technical stuff. And then we had coffee chats, and we had, just at the last, we have a wild card because there was always something that needed to come up, and those worked out really well. So those were just nice sessions. We'd get 20, 25 teachers show up, they'd have some questions that other people had. We'd record the session, so if somebody couldn't make it, they'd come in and watch it. And then we did recognitions. We gave out cookies and cards and marigolds and different things like that to just thank each other for helping each other. This kind of scenario. So challenges, right? Like any challenge to doing all of these things, time is the biggest thing. As I think that comes up with every conversation of finding that time to get together. Routines are the other one. Everybody has their own routine, and we're talking students, parents, teachers trying to get connected. Our students go to school at this hour, and then they've got band practice, or they've got a sporting event, or they go to work, or it's trying to work out those hours so that our teachers are, they don't clock in at 7 a.m. and go home at 3 o'clock. So hours are shifted with our staff as well to be available in the evenings for those evening appointments to try to help everyone out. That preferred method of communication is a struggle. Some students text like a madman. Other ones, they don't, because we do K-12, so obviously some of our younger kids aren't texting.
Or they get their phone taken away, so then we have to go back to email.
So you got to work around those kind of things, but always finding that best method for that student, that parent, that teacher to communicate with them. Distance from activities. So we do the activities, and it's great. Like we said, we have a big county, but it's an hour, and like from one corner of the county to the other can be well over an hour. And then just transportation for the kids. Mom and dad are at work. and how do they get to an event? So makes it interesting. So wrapping up, some of the things that we've been kind of chatting about that we would like to improve upon is, one thing is getting information out about our courses. How do we, just have a link to the standards and just a little brief sentence? I think we need to do more. I've got a dream of having the teacher do a little video of just what the course is about, what it's like to be part of their course. What are they going to learn about? I think that would personalize it a little bit more. We would like to get our teachers to collaborate better because of that distance, because of that just not seeing each other. We want to work on that piece of how can they work out collaboration scenarios. We want to engage our students in more critical thinking. If we go to an Adobe Connect session and we put up a poll and say, hey, did everybody learn this? Is everybody good? And they just go, yes. Well, we want to get more. We started with Adobe Connect 2 years ago. It's been a great tool. And as we've learned to use it, we've come up with ways to go with that. So that's kind of the next level for us, is just to increase that engagement with the students. And the social committee we've kicked off. I think we've got that started this year. And I think that's going to help us to get together as well with everyone involved with our school. So, all right. So our mission is accomplished here. Hopefully you guys found a nugget of information in there that you can take back with you. If you have questions, please contact us.
And if any of you have ideas that you'd like to share out that your
Yeah, we've got a couple more minutes. If anything popped up, anything's going on at your school and you want to share, please let us know.
Do you ever do your field trips with a virtual option where you bring an iPad, you screen?
That's a great idea. It has. We had, so the students who couldn't be there, the question is, have we ever done a virtual field trip where we're there with the kids and we're there also virtually with a camera or some type, an iPod, an iPad, broadcasting that. So that has been something we have discussed. I think it's a great idea. Yeah, but we have not done that yet. Yeah. Yes? We encourage, we started with the webcam. The question is, do we have our students go on the webcams? It was tough to get our teachers encouraged to go on the webcam as well and not be scared. So all of us as coaches, we were always like, here we are. Just, feel like, oh, I'm not ready yet. I wasn't camera ready. But we definitely got the teachers using it. And then we have given the students the option, like some of the sessions, we'll leave the cameras open and they'll just find it and pop themselves in there. And it's so much nicer when you can see, when you're talking and see faces. It's
But
great.
we do encourage the kids either to get on the microphone or to use their webcam. And we don't find it a problem with everybody trying to get on at once. It's more trying to encourage them to get on. A lot of them are shy and they don't want to.
Microphone shy and camera shy for sure.
But they do like it, because I remember one time, I think it was this summer, I was changing layouts and my cam didn't come back on. And the kids were like, where are you? Where did you go?
I can't see you anymore. So thank you. All right. Question in the back? Of course we have to, my boss gives me a set of things that had to happen, and one of them was it had to work with Canvas. We had to have that seamless integration across, so we started eliminating the question was what other products and why did we choose Adobe Connect? Basically features, functionality, the ability to plug into Canvas. We had used another product before, so to ease the staff on from one to another, it's nice to have something they're semi-familiar with, so it wasn't a complete shock to them.
We needed the security to know that it was that student, because the system we were using before wasn't that secure, and there might have been like elementary kids in a session with a teacher, and another student from another school, like a high school, might come in and might not be very appropriate for what the kids should see, so we needed something secure to make sure.
We needed to make sure we knew who was in the room. That was the key. So that's why we don't allow guests in. We don't send that link out. We at least know who logged into Canvas and went into that session. So we've got some accountability. So, other question? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, separate. You guys use like instant messaging or chat between parents or students or families?
Text messaging. I think that's the biggest one. The question was, do we use instant messaging with our parents and students?
We do have some teachers who use it, but not all of them. I don't restrict their use of it. So it's really more what the teacher is comfortable with.
All right. Any other questions? All right, folks. Well, thanks for coming.
Thank you very much, and thank you, Amy.